Hi, I'm Don. Welcome to Inside the Cartomizer Tips and Tricks. We created this video because a number of people have had initial great success with cartomizers and over time have had some issues with keeping them going long, refilling them, getting them to continue to vape over time. So today we're going to share 5 tips with you, and then we're going to take a very detailed look inside the atomizer and the cartomizer to show you the differences and how you can get the most out of your vape. This is a cartomizer, and we're going to pop up a still picture here that shows you what it should look like when it's properly filled. It's been described as looking like a snow cone, looking wet, glistening, but basically whether you are using a cartomizer or an atomizer, it is very important to keep it wet. If they run dry, it will taste burnt, and especially with a cartomizer, with the way the wire is in there for the heating element, you cannot replace the filler, so once a burnt taste is in there, it is pretty hard to get out. Cartomizers hold a lot of e-liquid. We recommend at least 25 to 30 drops. Second tip, once it is filled, let it sit for a short while. Again, on a cartomizer, there's much more filler material than there is on an atomizer. It basically goes the whole length of the cartomizer. So give it a few minutes to disperse inside the filler so that it will heat more evenly. The next thing I'm going to demonstrate is tip 3, and that is your vaping technique actually does make a difference. A soft, slow, steady draw will work much better than a hard, fast draw. I'm going to demonstrate that with this, which is an Ego battery with a cartomizer on it. I'm going to push the button as soon as I say so, and then you'll see me take a very hard, fast draw. Pushing the button now. Hard draw, a little bit of vapor, but not very much. Now I'm going to suck in the same amount of air with a slow, soft draw. As you can see, quite a bit more vapor. Again, much more vapor with a slow, steady draw. Tip number 4 is another technique thing, and that is if you're using a manual battery, which we far prefer for several different reasons, that's a separate video, but with a manual battery you can push the button as you're bringing the e-cigarette up to your lips, and that will start it heating and start vapor production before it gets to you. For instance, when I have mine sitting on a desk, as soon as I pick it up, I'm pushing the button right now as I'm bringing it to my lips. And again, a slow, steady draw for lots of vapor. Tip number 5 is all about airflow. Again, whether it's a cartomizer or an atomizer, airflow through the heating unit is very important. A couple of things I'm demonstrating here with an Ego battery, which has an atomizer cone that screws on top of the atomizer. I don't think you'll be able to see it very well here, but where the battery joins the atomizer or joins the cartomizer, there are 4 air holes around there. They look like little slots. That's where the air gets in to get into the heating element, and it's important not to block those. If you're using a standard battery, it's pretty easy to actually hold the unit such that you're covering 2 or 3 of the air holes. That will reduce airflow, that will reduce your vapor production. Similarly, on an Ego, where you have the atomizer cone, once that's screwed in, all of the airflow has to go in between the cartomizer or atomizer and the cone right there. There's not a lot of space here. It's possible to get your lips to actually cover the hole, which I'll demonstrate. You'll know if you're doing this because the draw will be very hard. Basically, no air will be getting in. Again, very little vapor, and you can kind of hear from the suction no airflow going through. We do sell drip tips that are actually designed for dripping, not for use with cartomizers, but they add about a ½ inch of length. They just pop in with a little rubber washer, and if you like to have a little bit more room for your lips, that's one option. That's it. 5 tips. Keep it wet. Once it's filled, let it sit a little while to disperse the liquid. A soft, slow draw works better than a hard, fast draw. Push the button as you're bringing the unit up to your lips to start heating the cartomizer, and don't block the airflow, not with your fingers, not with your lips.